As part of the imaging software, you will be expected to complete a number of tasks, which include file management, preparing images, manipulating and managing images, importing and manipulating linked data, inserting basic shapes and adding text. And then you will have several questions to answer once you've completed the task. Right, first thing I'm going to do is set up a canvas. What you can do, you can customise it, choosing whatever size you want. 1200 by 900. Make sure the background's transparent. Or you can actually choose from the default Photoshop size, photograph if it's going to be for web. Okay, so whichever you want. For now I'm going to choose custom. Click OK. There's my canvas. And what I'm going to do is I am going to place a linked file on. There's my football pitch. Click on there. Right, and you'll see that it's attached it exactly to the size of the image. Accept it by clicking the tick. So there's my football pitch. There you can see it's a linked file. It's got a name there. Okay, make sure you name your layers. You don't know how to do it. Double click. Press enter. And there you've named your layer. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the image for the football. And I'm going to edit the football so it's got no background, and I'll reduce the size so it can go onto the football pitch. Let's get rid of the white background. We go to the magic selection tool, click. It's not letting me do it. The reason for that is the layer is locked. Okay, double click and call that football. So there's my magic wand tool. If it wasn't close enough, what I can do is I can change the tolerance at the top. So if I change that tolerance to 5 and click again, let me zoom in so you can see. Right, you will see that it's not as close to the ball. Go to 1. There you go. You can see the selection is not around the ball. Change it to 10. Right, now you can see that it's selected all of the ball. Once I've got everything selected, press delete. Okay, and then it looks like nothing's happened because it's actually on a white background. Oh, I'm lying to you. Okay, cut the background out, and there you've just got the football on its own. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that football onto the football pitch, round about here. So to do that, easiest way to do it is click on the football tab, click, drag it down, and then click on the football and drag it onto this image. Okay, it's added it as a new layer. Right, obviously the football is far too big. Okay, so if I do Command and T to transform, and what I can do is, say for example, I wanted it to be 20% smaller, or the actual size. There you can see the width is 100%, the height is 100%. Right, I'm going to change that to 20 and 20. And you can either click the tick there, or when you click off it, it'll give you this window. Click apply. Right, there's the ball. Now what I'm going to do is put a football player on. Click open. Then I've got a footballer. Right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to crop this image down so I can get rid of most of the background. You click on the crop tool, bring it in. Okay, and then click your tick to accept. And there we have the footballer. Okay, I need to get rid of all of this. All I want is the footballer. Tool I'll use for that one is the lasso one. Okay, but I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool. So if I zoom in, easiest thing to do is actually zoom in on the image as close as you can, and then start drawing round. And get as close to the image as you possibly can. And you go all the way around. Right, I'm not going to make you watch me do this, so I'll come back to you in a minute. And then you relink the last click to the first one. And there you can see drawn all around the footballer, getting as close to his body as I possibly can. Right, so if I copy that and paste, there we go. Now we have our footballer. Again, Control or Command and T to transform. You can see that in comparison to the footballer, it's out of proportion. So I'm going to reduce that down to, let's see what 75% gives us. Take it down to 75%, and there we go. Right, you can see there the ball goes behind the player. To get rid, amend that, if you click on the footballer, change that to player, so you've not got the word football all the time. So click on the player layer, click and drag in between the two. So now you click on the football, it doesn't go behind the player. Right, if you need to insert any guidelines, so you need the football in a certain position, different ways of doing it. You can click even, and drag. So say for example, I wanted the footballer's head to be at the same level as the goal. I want him to be behind the goalpost. There I can use click here, so I want them in between the goalpost. And you can use your guidelines to help you out. Okay, so click on the player. I want the player below. I need him in that section. Click on the ball. And we can even place the ball here outside the image. Doesn't matter using the guidelines. That's one way of doing it. Another way, see there you can see my guidelines are in pixels. Sometimes they might be in centimeters or inches. To change that, if you go to Photoshop, Preferences, go down to Units and Rulers, and there you can change the units. So if I change that to inches, click OK. Right, you can see one, the ruler has changed to inches, and two, if I click on the guidelines, you can see that the measurements are in inches. Okay, but I prefer to use pixels. So it's Preferences again, and then down to Units and Rulers. Change that to pixels. Click OK. So if I wanted, let's see, I go to View, and what I'm going to do is clear the guidelines. Say for example, I wanted the guidelines to be 600 vertical and 400 horizontal. You go to View, New Guide. Right, there's my vertical, and I wanted it 600. So there's my 600, and then go back to View, New Guide, and I wanted the horizontal to be 400. So there, got the horizontal at 400. and the vertical at 600. If you want to adjust them, take it to, there we go, 656. Right, it doesn't get them exact, so you're probably better off using the view menu, okay, because it won't quite get to where you want it to do when you drag it. Okay, but if you wanted the exact measurements, then just change that one, that's vertical, to 600. Oh, change that to 7, wasn't it? 700, right, and then just get rid of the other one. Click on that and drag it to the side. And that will get rid of your guidelines. So if you want to get rid of them, all you do is click and drag them up to the ruler. Or you can just go to View and Clear Canvas Guides. Right, on the right hand side, what you can see is the two images that I've actually bought from here. They're not linked. But if you see this one, what I did to get this as a linked file, if you remember, if you go back, if you go to File and you go to Place Linked, then that is a linked file. These two are not linked files. I'm going to save this now. File, Save As. I need it saving as a Photoshop file, PSD file. So I'll just put that football, call that final, so I know it's my final image. Click Save, click OK. Right, and now it's saved as a PSD. If you needed to save it as a JPEG, File, Save As, and then in your drop down, you go to JPEG, and you click Save. Right, so if I go to the appropriate folder, okay, so I'm in the appropriate folder now, and there you can see that's my football final as a JPEG, and then it is as a PSD. Exactly the same thing.